Greetings everyone, this is Non-Expert here back again with another video. Today's video is going to be the second implementation of problem number 37 where we try to solve or sort of try to compute the power set of our set. Again, if you've not gone through our previous video, I would urge you to check out the link in the description below because all the explanations are over there. Again, you can check out the LeetCode link in the description as well and try solving this on your own. But today we are just going to use a little bit of bit manipulation to understand how we can implement the power set solution. Again, before we sort of go ahead with the solution, I want you to understand, like, if you make a table, a binary table from 0 to 7, you would sort of get a representation of a bunch of binary digits. But that's something that we can leverage as well. So if you see over here, what we've done is you have uh, a table from 0 to 7. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, and this is all the binary representations. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, you can pause this video and verify this on your own. But basically what you've done is you have a table for 0 and till 7. Now what we're doing is, if you sort of reverse all the numbers, like you have 1, 2, 3, and you reverse all of them, and for every single one that you've encountered, whenever you encounter one, you can sort of put it inside your list. And when you do that, you sort of look at the fact that when we are doing that, we get all the sets, all the subsets that are required in our power set. So if you have 0 0 1, then 1 is the only thing which is matching with our number 1, and we push it inside. When we have 0 1 0 2, um, we sort out 2. When we have 0 1 1, we take both 2 as well as 1. So that's our representation. When we have 3, basically whatever you're doing is you're mapping out every single, whenever you have a 1, you sort of push it inside your list. If not, you don't do anything with it, right? And you can again pause this video and check it out on your own. And that's the entire bit manipulation approach as well. There's a lot of bit manipulation operators and all which are used, but we'll not be using that today because they just give a lot of complexity for many people, and many people don't really understand how that works. So today we're just going to be using the binary representation, and then we're going to go on from there. One thing which I did not mention before in my previous video is that there's a rule when you compute a power set, and that is that the number of elements which are given inside your set, the power set will always be at a length of 2 raised power the number of elements. So let's just do that. Let's just write number of elements, right? And what we're going to do is we're just going to say 2 to the power of whatever is the length of nums, right? And all we're going to do is we're just going to do an iteration from 0 to, let's just say that if the numbers are 2, if 1 and 2 is only given, then from 0 to 3. If 8 is given, if numbers is 3, like in this example, then we need to do from 0 to 7. Cool, so let's just do that iteration. We just say for I in range, and all we need to say is number of elements, right? And that's basically it. So what we'll do is we'll just do a simple print. And before I sort of do that, I want you to understand in Python there's actually a simple way of computing your numbers into binary representations of themselves. And the way to do that is sorry, excuse me, is by actually using a format. I'll just copy paste this. Again, I'll just try running this one so that you can see how it's working. All this particular highlighted statement is doing is converting the element that we have, our integer which we have, into a binary string. And that's something that we're going to use. So we're just going to say, hey, this is our, let's just call it rep, not repper, let's just call it rep, short for binary representation, and we just copy paste this. So what we have is that all the binary representations of all the numbers, and now all we have to do is we just have to make sure that we're using it correctly. Again, if you sort of remember the previous case, and I'll just copy paste that again. So I'll just copy paste the binary table which we had made. So as you remember, the way we were sort of going about it is that 3 to 1 was like reversed, and that's how we were going to go about it. That's something which we're going to do as well, but we're going to reverse the representation, the string representation instead. The reason for that is actually quite simple. It's just so that we can maintain the index and then go forward from there. Cool. So we're going to use result as a resultant, which we're going to be using for tone. And also, since we were using path in our previous approach, we'll be using that as well. So all I need to do is iterate through each element inside my binary representation string. And whenever I encounter a 1, I just, append that value, the ith index value inside my path. So let's just make a path variable. Let's just say path is equal to an empty string, and then the char, which we can do an enumerate on. And when we do a rep, all we're going to say is, hey, every single time char is equal to 1, right? I need to append the number which is associated at that particular index. So nums of I, and then at the end, all I want to do is I just want to append that inside my resultant list. And that should basically do it. So, I'll put a few print statements over here just so that you get a better understanding of what our paths are being made. Path, what our rep is, and the nums value as well. So let's just, run this code. Hopefully this should run fine, but the print is just so that we can, clarify whether everything is working fine with it. The only reason for that, the reverse, is that, want to sort of work across this entire thing. So it took a bit of time to run. That's just because of the net connection. But you can see the principle over here. So you have 1, you have 2, you have 1 comma 2, you have 3, you have 1 comma 3, 2 comma 3, and 1 comma 2 comma 3. Basically, every single time you encounter a 1, you sort of append it inside your representation, the same thing, and then just move forward from there. Right? And the index is actually the most important part over here, because the index sort of helps us understand that, hey, if I have 0, 1, you just need to map it to 2. If I have 1 comma 1, then the first one is for the 1, the second one is for this one, the 2, sorry. And whenever you have 3, where you have 0, 0, 1, the 0 is for this one, the second 0 is for 2, and the last one is for the 3, which gets appended. And cool, and that's basically it. Again, this might not be the most optimal solution because using a lot of variables, but let's just run this once more. Hopefully this should run. Cool, and it's fine. Let's just try submitting this. Hopefully it should get submitted. And you can see it's not the most fastest solution, and it's not the most memory efficient solution just because of all the variables which I've defined. Again, there are multiple ways of doing the bit manipulation, especially using the bit operators. That's just something which adds a redundant layer just for the interviewer as well as the candidate as well. And I feel like this approach is much more clearer. Again, if you do have any comments or if there's something which you want me to explain further, you can leave it in the comments section below. And if you did like this video, do give a like and do subscribe to the channel. We are a discussion over here and we would love to have you. And if you've already subscribed, you're awesome. We all know it, and have a great day. Thank you.